Well, good morning, fastball fans, and welcome to some bonus coverage on the ISC Network. Blair Setford solo for this one between the STK squad out on the field and the Toronto Batmen. Nick Patrick, the starting pitcher for STK, just about to start his warm-up pitches. Both of these teams are 2-1. This is an elimination game here in the ISC World Tournament. We are at beautiful Softball City. The sun is shining today. It's up high in the sky, just a couple of clouds. Other than that, it is an absolutely perfect day for fastball, and we're going to bring you this one plus four more on the ISC Network here on Wednesday, day 5 at the 2024 ISC World Tournament. Again, if you're just getting in with us on the ISC Network, Blair Setford solo. We've just got a single camera for this one, and then we'll have the full production at 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 6 p.m., and 8 p.m. Our scheduled coverage. We added this one last second just to bring you Toronto and STK. Leading things off for the Batmen, they've shaken up the order a little bit since the last time we saw them on the broadcast program. Mason McKay will lead things off. Ty Sebastian down to the 2 spot. Denny Benson. Corey Way bats cleanup. Andy Skelton down to the 5 hole. Ike Whetstone. Cody Skelton draws into the lineup at the designated player spot. Derek Hyde and Owen Torrey in the 9 spot. Zach Berg is the flex player at short for the Batmen. Defensively, for STK, left to right across the outfield. Alejandro Villalobos in left, Brandon Parsons in center. Stevie Silvas is in right field today for STK. And around the horn, Jared Bradbury at third, Jessen Potskins at short. At second base, it's Aleo Munoz. And at first, Tyson Susi. On the board, Nick Patrick, and he is pitching to Brett Larson, the mainstay behind the plate for STK. Our umpires for this one, behind the plate, Mike Morrissey from Peterborough, Ontario. George LeMaitre from Hamilton, Ontario at first. Daryl Helmer from Airdrie, Alberta is at third. And in for a strike is Nick Patrick. We're underway, 11-12, so just about 12 minutes behind. Fargo Kegel Black Knights 6-1 winners over Pueblo Bandits in the 9 a.m. game. Swing and a miss by Mason McKay. Very quickly, Nick Patrick out in front. Nick's 1-0. He picked up the win in that 10-0 victory for STK over the Pegasus Redmen. Overall, STK 2-1. Won their first game 3-0 over the Ohio Bombers, and then dropped an 11-0 decision to the Northeast Drillers, a tough one for STK. But they rebounded with that big win over Peguas. Patrick went 3 innings, Steve Normand 2 in relief. Swing and a miss, down goes Mason McKay. Good start for Nick Patrick, the hard-throwing righty from Saskatchewan. Good rise ball, good drop. And he'll mix things up against this Toronto lineup. They've been a little schizophrenic. 4-0 winners over the Can West Thunder. Did not look particularly good in their 5-1 loss to the Oma Tigre, but then rebounded for a 10-4 win over the Lacey A's. Ty Sebastian, a home run in the win over Can West. A perfect game on the board for the Batmen. 20 strikeouts in that one, tying an ISC record for most strikeouts in a 7-inning game. Sebastian, the straw that stirs the Toronto drink. This team revolves around him in the way that they play. They take their cues from Ty. When he's on, they're on. Good drop from Nick Patrick. Looks good early, that pitch for Patrick. The lean, the pitch, swing and a miss, drop on the outside corner. Second straight strikeout for Nick Patrick. Denny Benson, right field, into the 3 spot for the Batmen. Coach Kevin Zare came on late in the season for the Batmen after some health challenges with head coach Lee Jacques. And we know, Lee, you're watching back at home, and wish you all the best. Misses outside to Denny Benson. Plenty of pop in the bat for Benson. Ty Randerson already in the Toronto bullpen. I suspect this will be the pattern. When they're at the plate, they'll probably have somebody ready just in case. Patrick, great drop in the outside corner, and whatever he had for breakfast this morning, it's a good time for it because he's got the drop ball working very effectively early for the team in dark gray and orange. Just off the outside corner. 2-1 to Denny Benson. 2 down in the inning. If you're just getting in with us, Blair Setford solo on the ISC network with some bonus coverage. Toronto Batmen and STK from Chase, British Columbia, up in northern BC. We'll have the full production for our 1, 3, 6, and 8 broadcasts. Look forward to Joe Todd, Peter Labardius, myself, bringing you all of the action here at the 2024 ISC World Tournament at beautiful Softball City. Called strike 3. Nick Patrick strikes out the side in the top of the first inning. We'll go to the bottom half with STK coming to the plate. So bottom of the first inning for the STK squad. Aleo Munoz, Brandon Parsons, Brett Larson, Justin Potskins bats cleanup, Tyson Susi, Alejandro Villalobos, Jared Bradbury, Benny Anthony, and Stevie Silvas in the 9 spot. Defensively, Corey Way in left, Mason McKay in center. Denny Benson is out in right field as Ty Sebastian in with the first pitch for a strike. Around the horn defensively, Owen Torrey at third. At short, it's Zach Berg, the flex player today for Toronto. At second base, Andy Skelton. At first, Ike Whetstone. Behind the plate, Derek Hyde for Toronto. Ty comes in with a 2-1 record. Pitcher of record in all of 3 of Toronto's games. We already know all about the perfect game in their opener on Sunday for Toronto. Ty went 2 2/3 against Oma, took the loss. Tyler Randerson came on in relief, did 4 1/3. Against the Lacey A's in that 10-4 win, Ty went 3 2/3, and Dustin Wienhoff did the rest, 3 1/3 in that 10-4 win over Lacey. Munoz, the defensive wizard at the top of the order for STK. These two teams met in Simcoe at the Chiefs Challenge. STK came away with the win. Came from behind late to pick up the win in that one. There's Hall of Famer Jeff Goolagong just came in front of us. Munoz pops out to Hyde. And while we're giving shout-outs, want to say hello to Sue Havis from London, Ontario. Go Batmen, says the crowd in front of us here at Softball City on the main diamond. Hope you're having a great time. Thanks for joining us. Sebastian comes in slingshot, which he will do from time to time, usually on the rise ball. Brandon Parson, the 2-batter at the plate for STK. One and two. And swing and a miss. Big rise ball from Ty Sebastian. Picks up his first strikeout of the morning. We got going about 11:12, so just about 12 minutes off the scheduled start time. Just getting in with us on the ISC Network, this bonus coverage, single camera with commentary. Happy to bring this to you. Nick Patrick struck out the side in the top of the first inning. Aleo Munoz popped out to Derek Hyde. Brandon Parson down on strikes. That gets us to Brett Larson, the 3-batter for STK from Chase, British Columbia. Sebastian to the hip. And they're going to check to see if he went around. No, says Terrell Helmer. Okay. Two and one. Just a slight breeze here today, pretty much as there's been all week, blowing out to center field, center right. Sebastian's going to step off the board. Straight back to the screen. There's a screen there, folks. No need to flinch. Not that I haven't done that multiple times myself over the years. Starting to see some people trickle in for this one. Just a gorgeous day here in British Columbia after some overcast weather. Larson swings and misses at the big rise ball. 3 up, 3 down they go in the top of the first and the bottom. Scoreless through 1. We're just getting underway here on the ISC Network. Toronto Batmen and STK. Corey Way steps into that right side batter's box to lead things off. Nick Patrick misses everybody with the first pitch here in the top of the second inning. Patrick struck out the side in the first, 2 swinging, 1 looking. Chopper on the infield, Munoz will range over to his left to handle that, and he is as good as just about anybody over there at second base. Got to watch him in person in Simcoe. He was putting on a clinic until he got hit in the hand with a pitch late in the day on Saturday. Real pretty to watch, Alejo Munoz. Andy Skelton. First pitch swinging, a little easy chopper to Patrick, the pitcher. And 2 pitches, 2 outs, can tie that record of 3 pitches and 3 outs here if Ike Whetstone is willing to oblige and chase the first one. If you're Ty Sebastian, you're hoping that Whetstone has a long at bat here. Otherwise, it's not much of a break. Well, there'll be no record tying. Ball 1. Ike was the lone bright spot in the loss to the Oma Tigre the other day. Got into a pitch from Rio Koyama and deposited into the bleachers out in straightaway center. But other than that, it was a tough afternoon for the Toronto Batmen. Oma Tigre looked very good, and we will see them later today as Whetstone chases that off the plate. The Tigre in the nightcap tonight with the Northeast Drillers. We'll look forward to bringing you that one. Downstairs and skips to the screen. 2 down here in the inning. Toronto, the reigning Canadian champions, won at this very park Labor Day weekend at least last year. There's another high hopper in the infield. They'll let that one go. Jared Bradbury, the Aussie, at third base for STK. 15 innings for the Batmen in a 1-0 walk-off win against the Galway Hitmen. The 8 or 9 times it may be Canadian champions from Newfoundland and Labrador. Sebastian and Cleary, pitch for pitch, back and forth, 15 innings. One of them 24 strikeouts, the other 22. Both of them over 200 pitches in the game. Remarkable. Swing and a miss. Nick Patrick picks up his 4th strikeout. Another 3 up, 3 down inning. We'll go to the home half of the second. STK coming back to the plate. Justin Potskins leading things off, the cleanup batter for STK. He'll be followed by Tyson Susi and Alejandro Villalobos from Argentina. STK, some Canadians, and mixed in a couple of players from Argentina, as well as Jared Bradbury from Australia. A nice mix with this squad. Brand new to the ISC, but they have been playing in Northern BC and the Native Canadian Championship circuit for a couple of years, and this is a real good-looking team. Swing and a miss there by Potskin. And a big rise ball with the vocal emphasis from Ty Sebastian. Sits down Potskin for his 3rd strikeout. Tyson Susi. Brother Carson with the Vancouver Canucks in the NHL. Just upstairs. Some roots in Irma, Alberta for the Soucy family. Late of the Irma Tigers, the 2018 ISC 2 champions. Steve Normand on that squad, Brett Larson. Lyle Normand, the manager for STK, was the skipper of that squad in 2018. Swing and a miss there by Soucy. Lifted up in the infield. Whetstone will call for that. 2 down. Villalobos, big strapping young man from Argentina. Fist bump for Derek Hyde and home plate umpire Mike Morrissey. Spent a couple of seasons in Wisconsin with the AHI Reapers team. Making his way out west this season. Upstairs from Sebastian. Rise ball, the big pitch for Ty. Will throw the drop, mix in a change occasionally, but the rise ball is the feature pitch. It's the out pitch for Sebastian, and if he can get guys to chase from the letters up, it'll be a good morning for Ty. This one is fouled off at the plate. It has been an utterly spectacular week here at Softball City. Don't let anybody ever tell you different about this place. 4 beautiful, immaculate diamonds. About 30 years old, this facility. Among the first of its kind, if not the first of its kind, here in Canada and perhaps in North America. They annually host the Canada Cup. Over 100 women's teams here, including top national teams, Canada, Japan, Australia, others come through. And down on the swing goes Villalobos. That's 4 on the morning for Sebastian. He and Nick Patrick going pitch for pitch right now. Through 2 complete, zeros across the board. Cody Skelton to lead things off for the Batmen here in the top of the third. It'll be 7-8-9 for Toronto. Skelton, Derek Hyde, and Owen Torrey. It was Cody Skelton who put this team together about 10 years ago. And hard hit ball, shortstop just can't come up with it. In and out of the glove of Alejandro Villalobos. Sorry, not Villalobos, Justin Potskins. in and out of the glove on the back end. He had to go 3-4 steps to his right to try to track that down. Cody Skelton, got to think they're going to give that a base hit. Certainly in my book it is. And just waiting for the official announcement. And I'm going to take a moment to lean forward, and Yusuf Davis is sitting in front of me. Yusuf, how are you feeling this morning? Thumbs up? Yeah, that you scared a lot of us last night. You're okay? All right, thumbs up for you. Still no official word from the scorekeeper on base hit or not. The infielders having a quick conference in the background as we've got a pinch runner, Zach Berg, who is the flex player, can go in to run for Cody Skelton. So they've made that trade. That's a real good one. Derek Hyde puts down a bunt, and that's a good one. The throw hits him in the back. Third baseman Jared Bradbury picked up the bunt. His momentum carried him into foul territory, and he's got to throw back across the line. And running down the line is Hyde, and that hit him right between the 1 and the 3. Lyle Normand is down to have a conversation with Mike Morrissey. Is that runner interference? To me, at least, it appeared that he was in the lane and not in fair territory. So there's nothing to be done about it other than accept that Toronto now 2 guys aboard. So Owen Torrey, the 9 batter at the plate, and we'll see if Kevin Zare elects to play a little bit more small ball. Paul Sebastian's actually down in the third base box, and Torrey squares, but the pitch goes in and out of the glove of Larson, and job done now for Owen Torrey with 2 runners in scoring position on the pass ball. For those who weren't with us last night, Yusuf Davis hit in the head with a pitch early in the game. In fact, it was in the first inning, bottom of the first. Adam Folkert lost one, and upstairs to Yusuf Davis, a very scary moment, and glad to hear that he's okay. Yusuf continued in the game last night and checking in to make sure there's no lasting ill effects, and very good to hear that. So infield in for STK. Torrey, the 9 batter. Line shot, and scrambling back to third base is Zach Berg. Right into the glove of Bradbury. Right man, right place, right time. So 1 down and back to the top of the shop from Mason McKay was down on strikes in the first. But Toronto threatening here in the third. For those curious, they did give Cody Skelton a hit, and then the error on the play to put Hyde aboard. Leo Munoz way in at second base. Potskins on the line at short, now takes a step in. 1 ball, 1 strike to Mason McKay, center fielder, speedy center fielder for the Batmen. STK will have to hurry if it's anything slow rolling on the infield. Just off the outside corner. And Patrick is just bothered by the Gorilla Gold Rag, which slipped out of his pocket and was right at the foot of the circle where he would be landing. So he's got to go get that back. Probably has to shake it out as it's gathered some dust as well. The Gorilla Gold Rag, it's a tacky cloth that helps to enhance the grip. It's a legal grip enhancer in just about all of fast pitch globally. 2-1, one down here in the inning. Zach Berg running for Cody Skelton at third, Derek Hyde at second. And McKay went around, chased that drop ball into the dirt. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Called strike 3, the inside corner. Mason McKay down on strikes. Big out for McKay. For Patrick. And now he will go run for Derek Hyde on the 2-out catcher replacement rule. That is a minor upgrade, to say the least. And Ty Sebastian is going to get 4 wide ones. Now, this rule will change for next year. This year, as has been the custom in ISC for many, many years, you have to throw the 4 pitches for an intentional walk. Next year, we'll be adopting the global rule of just pointing to first base, and Ty would just go down automatically. But this year, you still have to throw the 4 pitches. Probably the last time I saw anything happen like this was in 2015, where in a single game, both Tony Mancha and Juan Podolicio both had issues doing it, but it's never been an issue since. So the intentional walk for Sebastian will load the bases for Denny Benson. We saw this yesterday in the Glowworm game with Bear Creek. They walked David Galino to get to Ryan Bolin, and he cleared the bases with a double. Denny Benson lofts this one out to the left, short left, coming in, and Villalobos will put it away, and STK dodge a big bullet here in the top of the third. They leave the 3 runners aboard. STK will come to the plate, and we'll see if they can threaten and score. Can Ty Sebastian keep the door shut? For STK, it'll be the bottom 3 in the order: Jared Bradbury, Benny Anthony, and Stevie Silvas. Bradbury, the Aussie, one of many here in the ISC World Tournament this year, and a couple of them have come up to celebrate the induction of Jeff Goolagong into the ISC Hall of Fame, the first Australian into the ISC Hall of Fame. And when we bring you the full production later on this afternoon, you'll see the tribute ad from the New York Gremlins with the voiceover by Zenon Winters. And of course, we've got the Sydney Tropics here a team from Australia qualified at the MacArthur Shootout last year. Great to see the time and the effort and the resources that are put in to bring a team all the way from Australia. A lot of planning, a lot of logistics that go into that. They got here early. They played 3 or 4 nights of doubleheaders right here at Softball City against the lower mainland league teams, some of which are in the tournament. And they were 1-0 winners this morning over the Walton Brewers in ISC 2 action. So Sydney still alive in the tournament. Oh, a late strike call by Mike Morrissey on Bradbury keeps him at the plate. And they're going to ask on the swing, and no, says George LeMaitre, our first base umpire. So the first base runner of the game for STK, the walk by Bradbury. A good at bat, did not chase that rise ball out of the zone. Benny Anthony, the designated player for STK. Tyler Randerson still throwing down in the bullpen. Anthony squares to bunt late and fouls it back to the screen. The Legends Tournament kicks off today as well. 12 teams in the 50-plus division. And they might be a little older and a little slower, but these guys haven't lost the competitive fire. Squares earlier this time. Jabs at it, but misses it. So 0-2 to Benny Anthony. CR Brewers, the defending champions in Legends. Sudbury Relics, 2-time champions. They're here. Coburg Force, swing and a miss. Down goes Benny Anthony on 3 pitches. Coburg Force out of Ontario have got a really good team put together. All Seasons Patriots from Pennsylvania will be good. There are 12 great Legends teams here, and we'll bring you the Legends Championship game on the schedule, at least, on Championship Saturday. Have to see how all the games go and the timing and everything else. That one is obviously subject to change, but right now the schedule that's been put together by our Vice President of the World Tournament, Rich Haldane, who just did a masterful job piecing the schedule together this year. He's built in time for that Legends game, so we'll look forward to bringing that to you on Saturday. Stevie Silvis, the 9 batter for STK. Right fielder. Swing and a miss. Stevie clearly got his batting gloves the same place that Nick Shales gets his. I'm not sure if they're the lumberjack variety. They probably are, but that yellow color, that certainly stands out. Not as much as the bright pink that David Galino for Bear Creek wears, but very distinctive nonetheless. The lumberjack gloves, outstanding product put together by Nick Shales several years ago, mixing in kangaroo leather amongst other products. High durability, great comfort. And a shameless plug for one of our sponsors, Lumberjack Sports. Called a strike on the outside corner to Silvis, not happy. Down on strikes. That is the 6th of the morning for Sebastian, and it's morning for another 6 minutes, at least by my watch. So back to the top of the shop for Aleo Munoz. Popped out to the catcher Hyde, leading off things in the bottom of the first inning. fouls this straight back to the screen. That was a good cut right on it. Second time through now for STK, getting their second look at Ty Sebastian. The wind has picked up, and those flags are standing much more at attention out in center field, blowing out towards center right. Hyde and Sebastian want to get on the same page. This will be their defensive conference for the inning that they are permitted to have. A few years ago, you might remember the endless stream of these types of conversations between pitchers and catchers. Every other pitch, you'd see the catcher going out to converse with the pitcher. That's been mostly eliminated. You get one per inning, and then if you got to go out and talk about signs, the umpire can go with you. Sebastian strikes out the side. Leadoff walk is stranded. Picks up his 7th strikeout of the morning. We are scoreless through 3. This one's settling into a bit of a rhythm. A pitcher's duel between Ty Sebastian and Nick Patrick. Corey Way set to face Nick Patrick for the second time. Corey grounded out to Munoz over at second in his first go-around. Good changeup from Nick Patrick, mixing that one in for what I believe is the first time here this morning. Still morning for a couple of minutes here Pacific time. Good afternoon to our friends back in the Eastern time zone. 43.5 footer there from Patrick. .44 pitches into the fourth inning for Nick Patrick. Just misses upstairs. 3 up, 3 down in the first and the second. Toronto left the bases loaded in the third as he got Denny Benson to fly out to short left to end the inning. High hopper in the infield. Munoz ranging over. Sidearm throw and safe. Corey Way legs out that high hopper on the infield. Tyson Susie is just going to ask George LeMaitre about that call. Jared Bradbury come over for a quick conversation, but That's all. Well, here comes Lyle Normand. He's also going to want to get a word in with George LeMaitre. Andy Skelton at the plate now for Toronto, and he and Corey Way will go down and have a quick conversation with third base coach Paul Sebastian, Ty's dad. Toronto revamped their coaching staff in the offseason, bringing in Lee Jacques to head up the staff, and then unfortunately Lee's fallen to an illness and unable to join us here this week. So Skelton to the plate, turns, squares, and bunts that foul down the right side. Both these teams willing to go to the small ball early and now into the mid-innings. Clearly runs are going to be at a premium the way these two guys are pitching. Andy, the big power hitter over the years, spent about a decade, I got to think, with Team Canada. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and looks at ball out of the zone. So 1-1. I can remember 2012, 2013 circa, sometime in that time frame. Down in Colombia, Andy Skelton hitting a moonshot off of Venezuela for Canada to win the Pan Am qualifier. I remember Steve Mullally talking about the balls that they were using. He compared them to a rolled up sock. They were so soft. Chases outside, a real good drop ball in the outside corner from Nick Patrick. Andy Skelton down on strikes, the 6th of the game for Nick Patrick. Ike Whetstone down on strikes in the 2nd. Half-hearted wave at that one. On the move, his way, the throw is high. Hard tag applied and out at second base. What a great play by Munoz to go up and get that and come down with the tag. Outstanding play by the second baseman for STK. That was a bit of a collision between he and Way at the base. Munoz will shake out the dust, and we'll get back to the action in a moment. So bases empty for Whetstone, swings and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Ike Whetstone. Talked about the home run against Oma the other day. Can't do anything here. Nick Patrick picks up another 2 strikeouts, now 7 on the game for Patrick. It amounts to a 3-up, 3-down inning despite the infield hit. Still scoreless. We'll go to the home half coming up for STK. Two-batter Brandon Parsons for STK in the bottom of the fourth inning. Closing in on halfway through, and STK trying to break through on this one. Batman had a look at it in the top of the third, left the bases loaded. Jared Bradbury, thus far, the lone base runner for STK. Straight back to the screen, just stuck the bat out. Sebastian and Patrick, right now, each with 7 strikeouts in the game. Ty rears back and throws that one right by Brandon Parsons. Coming up at 1 o'clock, AWP Lumberjacks, Waterdown Hammer. I am told that AWP won the toss and elected to hit. You don't see that very often. Aggressive coaching. Brad Kilpatrick, Clayton Robinson will be the pitchers. Interesting call, gutsy call. Just upstairs from Ty Sebastian to Brandon Parsons. Full count leading things off here. Bottom of the fourth inning. If you've just joined us for this bonus coverage, single cam with commentary, Blair Setford with you on the ISC network. Happy to bring you this one between Toronto and STK. Down goes Parsons swinging. 8 now on the game for Ty Sebastian. Coming up with full coverage starting at 1 p.m. scheduled start time. Waterdown Hammer and the AWP Lumberjacks. Peter Labardius, Joe Todd will join me here in the booth, and we'll bring you all the action this afternoon and into the evening. Chasing way upstairs, Brett Larson, catcher for STK. He's done a stint with Team Canada. Went down to the Pan Am qualifier in Argentina a couple of years ago when Ryan Boland was unavailable. Very reliable, steady catcher behind the plate. Works a lot with Devin McCullough on Team Canada at that particular time. Sean Cleary as well. Just off the corner. Ty Sebastian, of course, looking like a mainstay for Team Canada now for the foreseeable future. Ironically enough, he was a late addition to the Canadian squad that went down to Auckland, New Zealand in November of 2022 and earned a silver medal. Ty was amongst the best players for Canada. Lifted up to short center. McKay will come in to make the grab. That's the first ball out of the infield for STK. Justin Potskin's the shortstop for STK. Down on strikes in the second. Sidearm, or sling at least, slingshot from Sebastian on that one. And there's a good hard drop on the outside corner. 54 pitches now for Sebastian here in the fourth. Pretty efficient And this one is lifted out to left. Coming hard is Corey Way. He calls off Zach Berg, and he'll make the grab about 8 steps from the infield. Another 1-2-3 inning for Ty Sebastian. A couple of fly balls. Let the outfielders play this time. Picks up his 8th strikeout. And it is still scoreless. Sebastian and Patrick really knotted up in a good one. A pitcher's duel. So we go to the 5th inning. Cody Skelton, designated player, reached on what was ultimately scored a hit back in the 3rd. Looks at ball 1 as we open up the 5th inning. Mike Morrissey goes and picks out a pebble from in behind the plate. And I know it sounds like a small, fussy thing, but if a ball hits that and skips away, that's the difference. The little things matter. Good hitters count here for Cody Skelton, 2-0. And a called strike on the outside corner. Started to talk about how Cody put this team together about 10 plus years ago. It was put together for he and his friends and local Ontario guys to play cohesively as a unit. They have had some imports off and on over the years, but have settled on an all-Ontario lineup. Their best finish in the ISC World Tournament, a 4th in 2017. And as we talked about, the reigning Canadian champions. The Skelton family, last year's recipients of the Denny Bruckert Memorial Award for dedication to the ISC and leadership that they show. The Batmen and the Coburg Force are the 2 teams that the Skeltons have brought here this week to the ISC World Tournament. And they brought both of them last year, and the Coburg Force were the winners in the Canadian Masters division, which is the 40-plus division, a little bit different from the ISC. It's 40-plus at the Canadians. Here, of course, it's 50-plus in the Legends division. Derek Hyde, the bunt attempt, and reached on the air when the throw hit him in the back. But Patrick rebounded nicely from that wobbly 3rd to have a 1-2-3 4th, and already with a strikeout here in the 5th. Up to 62 pitches here in the 5th. Both of these guys have been very efficient. That one right down the middle, and Hyde never budged. Taking all the way on that 3-0 pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, a good at bat, good patient at bat by Derek Hyde. So one down, Owen Torrey lined out to third baseman Jared Bradbury in the third, and that was a key out for STK at the time. Runners were on second and third at that point. That would have had the potential to score 2. Chases upstairs for strike 1, up and out of the zone. And a good drop ball this time from Patrick. He has mixed both pitches in very well. Only the one change that comes to mind. We saw that back in the third inning. Haven't seen it since. Might be a good time for it. But it's the rise ball, and Torrey swings right through. That's 9 on the game now for Nick Patrick. So back to the top of the shop, Mason McKay, a strikeout swinging, a strikeout looking. Looking to get off the schneid here in the 5th. So with 2 out, the catcher replacement rule, Torrey goes to run for Derek Hyde at first, the last available batter. Usually, but not always, the second out of the inning. The Batman with both the hits in the game. There's a lot of zeros up on that scoreboard. You see it up in the top right corner of your screen. Larson gets the call on the outside part of the plate. He crept out there at the last second. Again, creeps outside, swing and a miss. Foul ball, rather, foul ball. Didn't see it from our vantage point, but foul ball. Half-hearted attempt. Did he swing? Yes, he did, says George LeMaitre. And Nick Patrick rings up the side. They work around the walk to Hyde. 10 strikeouts now for Nick Patrick through 5. We'll go to the home half with STK trying to get something going against Ty Sebastian. These two have been too much for everybody so far. Bottom of the fifth, Tyson Susie, Alejandro Villalobos, and Jared Bradbury, 5, 6, and 7 for the team from Chase, British Columbia. Sebastian works in for ball one. Susie popped out to Ike Whetstone at first. That was back in the second inning. Even the count at 1-1. Two and one. Sebastian up to 59 pitches now on the game. And falling behind, 3-1. Hasn't fallen behind very many batters. Jared Bradbury, the lone blemish on the record thus far. And fouled straight back to the screen by Susie. Full count. Home half of the fifth inning. Susie, the 5 batter in the order for STK. Swing and a miss. Down goes Tyson Susie. There's the rise ball again from Ty Sebastian. Looks so enticing out of the hand. Chest high, can't lay off of it. It breaks out of the zone. Can't catch up. Villalobos went down swinging in the second. And again, the flags blowing straight out to center field as that breeze just picks up another notch and helps to keep things sane here right now. It's certainly not sweltering hot by any impression whatsoever, but it's a beautiful day here in Surrey, British Columbia, as we are now coming up on 12:24 Pacific time. Yesterday was overcast and cool. Today, bright and sunny and warm. Off the plate, falling behind again, is Ty Sebastian. Both batters this inning behind. Well, I take that back. It's 2-2. I thought it was 3-1, but diving play. Berg, can they make the throw from his knees? Not in time. Villalobos with the first hit of the game for STK. Outstanding effort by Zach Berg to dive and corral that ball behind the bag at second. Just by a quarter step, misses getting Alejandro Villalobos. And we'll get a pinch runner for Villalobos as Keegan Pittendry comes on to run, and this is a very good trade for STK as Pittendry runs very well. Toronto will need to be wary of him out in the bases, even with one out. Jared Bradbury to the plate. Hitherto had been the only base runner for STK. A walk in the third, which was promptly stranded by 3 straight strikeouts. So Sebastian back to work. Strike on the outside corner. Bradbury showed bunt, pulled it back, but got a strike called on him on the outside corner. Pit and dry, looking across to Diamond to Lyle Normand for the signs. Hyde has a good arm behind the plate. Called strike 3. Down goes Jared Bradbury. And a big out for Sebastian and the Batmen there. One of the better hitters in that STK lineup. Benny Anthony now to the dish. And that's pinch hitter actually Eli Jules, the veteran here in British Columbia fastball. Pointed him out in the stands last night to Peter Labardius. Lyle Normand down to make the change. You see that over in the left center part of your screen. And we're back with audio. Some technical difficulties. Our apologies. So you saw the walk by Jules. Stevie Silvas at the plate. So Pitt and Dry still out at second. You've been seeing everything. You've just been missing the audio. And our apologies as we had a little glitch. And Luciano Lafrano, thankfully, to the rescue. Yeah, run, Forrest, run. Because goodness knows we're not any good at this techie stuff. We've been managing to get the sound on and off. That's all we can do over the course of the game to avoid the music and the copyright infringement stuff in the background. Sebastian floats in the changeup for strike three. Called strike three. Picks up another 3 strikeouts. Works around the base runners. The first hit of the game. But now 11 strikeouts for Sebastian. And we're still scoreless through 5 complete. Well, Ty Sebastian's been doing it all on the board for the Toronto Batmen. Can he do it with the bat? Shows bunt, of all things, on the first pitch from Nick Patrick, who has been matching him pitch for pitch through 5 complete innings, scoreless. Toronto Batmen and STK out of Chase, British Columbia. Downstairs to Sebastian. Struck out in the first. They intentionally walked him in the third. And that one is just foul down the left line on the third base side. Ty with a home run in the tournament back in that first game against the Can West Thunder. Chases upstairs. The rise ball from Nick Patrick has been very good. The drop has been even better. A single changeup thrown over the course of the game. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sebastian leading things off here in the 6th for the Batmen. And we'll run it to a full count. Patrick 2 years ago with the Hill United Chiefs got an opportunity to see life on the big tournament circuit out in Ontario. And this one is punched out to left, but that's going to drift foul down the right side. Punched out to right, rather, not left, Blair. Missed that day in kindergarten, apparently. So we'll stay with the full count. Patrick, a long look in. Sebastian now bends over at the waist, knees bent. Bat straight up and down. Line shot, one hopper to Munoz. Underhand toss. Sticks with it and throws out Sebastian. Denny Benson came up with the bases loaded in the third, but a fly ball to short left field ended that threat. That's been the only threat for Toronto. Corey Way reached on a single in the fourth, but was caught stealing. Other than that, Nick Patrick, that little wobble in the third inning. Beyond that, he has been exceptional for STK today. Larson creeps out and ball one. Fouls that one off. Larson wanted that one out off the plate. Got a little bit too much of it, almost got a break. And Benson will lace this one out to straightaway center field, right back up the middle. Just stuck the bat out in the zone, and a base hit for Denny Benson. Third hit of the game for the Batmen. First one that's gotten out of the infield. Corey Way swings and misses at that drop ball on the outside corner. They've been able to get Way to chase that pitch multiple times today. Oh no, another drone. Did you crash another drone? Yeah. It shut off and fell. Oh my goodness. Another drone. Oh, we lost the signal. Oh my gosh. Oh my. Luciano Lafrano with the sad face right now with another broken drone. Corey Way 1-2. Patrick steps back and misses downstairs. We'll run the count to 2-2. Denny Benson out at first base. Solid base hit with one down in the inning. And this one is flared out to short right on the run and can't get it. It bounces away from the right fielder. Stevie Silvas came a long way. That was just in the Bermuda Triangle in no man's land between Silvas and second baseman Munoz. And you know, if he can't get to it, nobody's going to get to it. And then it kicked away off the glove of Silvas. Benson, who had only gone a third of the way, had to scramble up to second base. But Toronto now with a couple of runners aboard, and Andy Skelton with an opportunity to put the family team on the board. Swings through for strike one. Foul tip right into the glove. Just off the outside corner. So Benson at second, Way at first. One down here in the sixth. Toronto looking to break this scoreless tie. A whale of a pitching duel here. Started at 11:12 a.m. Nick Patrick for STK, Ty Sebastian for Toronto. And a little flare off the bat of Skelton. That's going to fall in just out of the reach. They're going to send him. Here's the throw, and sliding in safely is Denny Benson. Two bleeders to the outfield that have just eluded the fielders for STK. Toronto pushes across a run here in the top of the sixth. Well, you talk about hitting them where they ain't. You can only do that by inches here if you're the Toronto Batmen. Andy Skelton delivers by the skin of his teeth. And Denny Benson scoring for the Batmen. Benson has to freeze on that play because he doesn't know if the center fielder, Brandon Parsons, is going to be able to make that play or not. And then he's got to accelerate from 0 to 100 to come around and score. So now that 1-0 lead for Toronto, and the opportunity for more awaits here as Ike Whetstone down on strikes twice, but two base runners aboard for the Batmen. And reaches out and fouls that straight back. Upstairs, ball one, 1-1. One down in the inning. A run across for Toronto. A hard hit single by Denny Benson, and then a couple of flares to the outfield that just fell in. Called a strike on the corner. Whetstone tried to dance out of the way and sell that it was inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And missing downstairs. 2-2. 5 hits now for Toronto. 97 pitches for Patrick here in the top of the sixth. Called strike 3. Bit of a late call by Mike Morrissey. Down goes Ike Whetstone. Second out of the inning. 11th on the day now for Nick Patrick. Cody Skelton, who picked up an infield hit in the third and then caught looking in the fifth. To Hopper down to third. He'll step on the bag. Bradbury gets STK out of the inning. The Batmen strand 2, but they score 1. And how big is that run at this point, the way Ty Sebastian looks to be throwing?
For Toronto Batman,
STK down to their last 6 outs. Top of the shop for STK, Aleo Munoz, Brandon Parsons, Brett Larson. Nobody's really had any good fortune against Ty Sebastian here now into the afternoon, 10-1 Pacific time. Just off the outside corner. I watched Ty with his warm-up pitches. 2 of the 3 were nowhere near the plate, and then he just kind of haphazardly threw in the last one, slingshot. Right back to the screen by Munoz. And that one just misses off the corner. So 2-1 to the leadoff batter. And right back up the middle, laced by Aleo Munoz. Hung that one from Sebastian and drilled it right back up the box. Parsons 0 for 2 on the day. A pair of strikeouts. Got to be thinking that they're looking for short game here. A meeting out on the mound or on the board for Toronto as Kevin Zare out to talk with his team. Humorous story. Kevin Zare coaches the Tavistock Merchants, the U23 squad. Defending Canadian champions. They finished off the medal stand at this year's tournament. A late replacement for Lee Jacques to come in and manage the squad here this week. He managed them last year at the Canadian Championships too, so it's not like he doesn't know this team. But on the lineup card the other night, they were the Tavistock Batmen, not Toronto. A little Freudian slip. Turns and squares and gets it down. Sebastian will flip to first. He has the advantage. Unlike a lot of pitchers, Ty's also a shortstop or second baseman, so a middle infielder. You'll see a lot of pitchers will spike that throw or shot put it over somebody's head, but tie right on the money. But a good sack bunt by Brandon Parsons. Munoz up to scoring position for the three-batter Brett Larson. STK trying to tie this after giving up one in the bottom, or sorry, in the top of the sixth. We're now in the bottom. Outside. And that one is in for a strike. 2-1. And straight back to the screen for 2-2. Had a good cut. Brett Larson didn't miss that by much. Sebastian, a long look in for the sign, still looking in, now sets above the hip. Called strike three. Brett Larson down on strikes. That's 12 now for Sebastian on the game. If you're tuning in looking for AWP and the Waterdown Hammer, that will come up about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Brad Kilpatrick and Clayton Robinson, the starting pitchers for AWP and Waterdown respectively. Jessen Potskin, 0-2, strikeout and a fly ball to short left field. Swings through the rise ball. Just off the outside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. Big exhale by Ty Sebastian. Swing and a miss by Jessen Potskin. Aleo Munoz led off with a solid single right back up the middle. Sack bunt by Brandon Parsons. Strikeout to Brett Larson. Ty Sebastian trying to get out of the inning and strand that potential tying run at second base. On the infield, chopper, Sebastian bobbles it, drops it, and STK stays alive in the inning. Normally sure-handed as any pitcher out there, Sebastian can't find the handle, and runners on the corners for STK. So a pinch runner for Potskin, that is Tristan Hofer. Tyson Susie popped up to Ike Whetstone at first base in the second inning, down on strikes in the fifth. And Sebastian will have to face at least one extra batter here of his own making. Called strike by Morrissey. Sebastian up to 94 pitches now. So both he and Nick Patrick closing in on that 100 mark, the Century Club. Chopper again on the infield, high this time. The throw manages to sneak that over the shoulder of Tyson Susie. That was oh so close to hitting the runner in the back. Toronto escape with a near miss in the bottom of the sixth. They'll take a 1-0 lead into the seventh inning. Of this will tie Pueblo.
This game is you on Peter in this game.
I have no idea.
Number 44, AJ Moses.
Come on. Keep working. Me and you, baby.
At the plate is third base, number 66, Owen Torrey.
for me. Let's go, baby. One ball, one strike.
Make that 13. A Baker's dozen for the big righty from Saskatchewan. Mason McKay at the top of the shop for Toronto. He hasn't been able to figure out Nick Patrick whatsoever. Been a tough day for the youngster for Toronto. Are we on? Yeah? Okay, Kyle Smith said he wasn't hearing us. Oh, we're okay though? All right. Couple little technical gremlins here and there. This is why we're glad we're working them out before the full production. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks, Kyle Smith, for the tip. Much appreciated. Just misses the mascot with that one. So A.J. Moses, who came over to Toronto from the Elmira Expos as they take a season hiatus down on strikes. Owen Torrey caught looking. That is 13 strikeouts now, a Baker's dozen for Nick Patrick from Saskatchewan. Mason McKay, who hasn't at all been able to figure out Patrick. And Brett Larson just buying his pitchers some time to reset. Mike Morrissey making the very slow walk out to bring back Larson, and that'll be their charged defensive conference. No action whatsoever over the course of the game in the bullpen rather for STK. Ty Randerson's been up sporadically for Toronto. Misses downstairs, and Mason McKay will work a much relieved walk here in the seventh inning, a 2-out walk. And that will bring up Ty Sebastian. Ty down on strikes in the first, intentionally walked in the third, and a line shot right at Munoz. That was an inning ago in the sixth. McKay runs very well out at first base, but you're not going to run out of the inning with Ty at the plate. Quickly 0-2, advantage Patrick. 117 pitches here in the top of the 7th with 2 out. Can't get Sebastian to chase off the corner. Toronto pushed that run across in the 6th. Would dearly love an insurance run here in the top of the 7th to make life a little bit more difficult for STK. Top-notch ball game here this morning and into the afternoon. Upstairs from Patrick. Softball City, just a fabulous, fabulous venue for the 2024 ISC World Tournament. Greg Tim, the head of the host committee, stopped by in between innings about an hour ago or so. Just asked, what could we do better? And I literally did not have an answer at that point in time. Fouled that one off. 2-2, 2 out here in the 7th inning. Things that will always look for incremental improvements. But this is just such a beautiful facility. We've got 4 outstanding diamonds, all of them in use today and have been all week with ISC, ISC2, a 36-team tournament, 20 teams that drop down into the deuce. Downstairs to Sebastian, full count. 12 Legends teams. That play started today. And stick with us all the way through to Saturday evening, where we will crown the 2024 ISC World Champion. Sebastian pulls that foul. Good hands shown by Paul Sebastian down in the third base coach's box to get that, and gets a little bit of appreciation from the STK dugout. Not all coaches can handle those ground balls. Chopper on the infield. In and out of the glove of the shortstop, Potskins. Sebastian is halfway up to second as nobody was covering first, and as the throw comes to the pitcher's mound, or the pitcher's circle, Sebastian just speeds up to second base. Bit of a mental error there by the STK guys, and they give a free base to Sebastian. So they compound the error with an extra base. McKay goes coast to third. And Denny Benson, who had a solid single an inning ago, will have an opportunity to increase the lead. Here's Lyle Normand out to chat with his team from Chase, British Columbia. Been nobody up in the bullpen for STK. This is going to be Nick Patrick's game. He came in 1-0, went 3 innings in a 5-inning run rule shortened game against the Peguis Redmen. He also pitched 2 2/3 in that 11-0 loss to the Drillers. He and Steve Normand and Juan Jose Pepe have pretty much shared all the duties over their first 3, but Nick Patrick will have this one in his hands the whole way, it looks like at this point. So Denny Benson, an opportunity to get that all-important insurance run, but actually he won't, as they're going to throw 4 wide, and they'll take their chances with Corey Way. So not a bad decision here. Benson with a hard single, his last at bat. You put a force on at any base, and you'll take your chances with Corey Way. Interestingly, Corey Way is actually 2 for 3 Neither of them hit particularly hard, but 2 hits nonetheless. So bases loaded for Way. And a huge moment in this one. Chasing 1 is going to be tough enough against Ty Sebastian. Having to get 2 or more, even more difficult. Ball 1. Fourth look at Nick Patrick for Corey Way. And that one misses downstairs, ball 2. Chopper on the infield. Bradbury comes up with it, throws, and out. At first, they get out of that bases-loaded jam. STK will go to the home half of the 7th, chasing 1. What have they got? We'll find out. Alejandro Villalobos has one of the 3 hits for the STK squad. A solid single in the 5th. Sebastian opens up with a strike here in the bottom of the 7th inning. You need to win to stay in this game today. Kegel Black Knights did it this morning. This one is drilled deep right field, way back, off the top of the fence. Villalobos spinning around second. He's going to get the stop sign at third. He missed a game-tying home run by the width of the plastic pipe on the top of the fence. Crowd buzzing as Alejandro Villalobos comes that close to tying this one. Hitting off of the yellow plastic fence topper. And Denny Benson was able to pounce on that to get the ball back in. So a leadoff triple, and Bradbury fouls this one to the screen. Bradbury worked a walk in the third and then caught looking in the fifth. Infield drawn in for Toronto, and this one is fouled off again, a little higher this time as it gets over the 45-foot screen. Oh, and 2 to the Aussie for STK. And right back up the middle, that'll tie the ball game. Jared Bradbury with a big fist pump and a clap of the hands down at first. Villalobos walks in with the game-tying run, and we got ourselves a brand new ball game. Tyler Randerson continues to throw in the bullpen. Here comes Paul Sebastian striding with purpose out of the dugout. That was the 100th pitch precisely for Ty Sebastian. But that is just a pep talk from Sebastian to bear down here. Nobody out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now the game-winning run out at first base. And the veteran Eli Jules, who came on in the 5th and worked a walk for STK, stayed in the game as the designated player. He turns and squares, pops it straight up. Whetstone calls for it and pulls it down. A squandered AB by the veteran Jules. Stevie Silvas hasn't been able to get the bat off the shoulder, caught looking twice. In for a strike. 1 run apiece, 5 hits apiece. You can't get anything between these two teams right now. Toronto Batmen, STK from Chase, British Columbia. That one is fouled off. Two real evenly matched squads. I mentioned earlier that they played in Simcoe early in the year at the Chiefs Challenge, and STK came from behind that day to win. Can they do it again to the Batmen here today? Morrissey will get out and clean the plate. And upstairs. Sebastian, a long look in again. Now goes to the hip. Change up. Berg to 2 for 1. Can't get the ball out of the glove. Andy Skelton. They'll erase the lead runner, and they'll take the out at second base. So 2 down now in the inning. Back to the top of the shop for the ever-dangerous Aleo Munoz. Hard hit single in the 6th. Opportunity. Extra bases could win the game here for STK. To Berg, the flip to second, and they go the short way to erase Silvis. But Alejandro Villalobos, a leadoff triple and scores on an RBI single by Jared Bradbury. Extra innings, here we come.
1 runner left on base, 2 and errors. The score after 6 complete innings of play, Batman 1, fastball.
So on to the 8th inning. Andy Skelton would lead things off for the Toronto Batmen. He's got the RBI for the Batmen by the skin of his teeth, really, because it just was a little flare in front of the diving outfielder. In years' time, that'll be a line drive somewhere. Went around, says Darryl Helmer. Patrick over 130 pitches now.
Come on, Kool-Aid. Let's go. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Two and one to Skelton. Waves at it for strike 2. Can't get him to chase off the plate to go for strike 3. So we'll go to a full count, leading things off here in the 8th inning. There is no international tiebreaker runner in the ISC World Tournament. It is in use in ISC 2 and in the Legends division. But ball 4 to Skelton, and that's a veteran at bat there by Andy Skelton to not chase a couple of those pitches that were out of the zone.
Next up for the Batman, first base number 3, Ike Wetzel.
No sign of a pinch runner just yet. Well, now Paul Sebastian is going to come over and have a chat with Mike Morrissey, our home plate umpire, and we will get somebody to emerge from the Toronto dugout. We'll let you know the second he pops out. Adam Long, pinch runner.
Now running at first base for the Batman, number 18, Adam Long.
So Ike Whetstone, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts. Almost assuredly will be bunting here. Jared Bradbury certainly thinks so. He's 12, 13, 14 now steps in from third. Gets it down. They got a shot at second. And out. And came in hot at the bag. And Munoz staggers off the bag. Long with a hard slide at second base. And a real good play there by Jared Bradbury to get that on a single hop and throw a strike to second base to get the leadoff runner.
At the plate for Batman, designated player number 33, Cody Skelton.
So Whetstone aboard on the fielder's choice at first. Now one down. Cody Skelton at the plate. And a called strike on the outside corner from Patrick. Cody, the younger brother to Andy. This one gets away, and up to second base will go Ike Whetstone. A free bag, and how important will that be? We'll see in the next 2, 3, 4 minutes how that plays out. But as we often talk about in the booth, it's the little mistakes. Something as little as a wild pitch that can end up costing you. Right back to the screen. Skelton, a mighty cut.
Come on. Me and you, let's go.
1-2. Larson sets up outside, but this one is flared down the left side. Dives for it. It gets past him on and left. Around comes Whetstone to score. Skelton up into third with a hard-earned triple and a big, big fist pump as he pulled into third. Villalobos was in no man's land, had to try to dive to make the catch, maybe better advised just to keep that ball in front of him. But scoring easily, and because he's at second base rather than first, Ike Whetstone, the go-ahead run for Toronto here in the eighth. Derek Hyde back in, batting for himself after they pinch hit in the seventh with A.J. Moses. Up and in to the catcher for Toronto. Infield in again for STK. Swings through the drop ball from Nick Patrick. One ball, two strikes. Patrick now at 144 pitches. This game now 2 hours and 20 minutes. Swing and a miss, chases the rise ball upstairs. Hyde down on strikes. Second out of the inning. $14 for Patrick.
Now batting number 66, third base, Owen Torrey.
Owen Torrey 9 batter swings over the top of a real good drop ball again. That's been a great pitch for Nick Patrick here this afternoon. And this one is lifted up to center. Bounces around a little bit, makes a couple of steps in. Brandon Parson pulls that down for the final out of the 8th. But Toronto scores 1 and an RBI triple by Cody Skelton, putting his team back out in front.
Toronto, top of the 8th inning. 1 run on, 1 hit, 1
Well, it'll be 2-3-4 in the order for STK in the bottom of the 8th inning. They've been here in this situation just an inning ago, trailing by 1, needing at least 1 to tie. They rallied in the 7th. Can they do it again in the 8th? Brandon Parsons leading things off for STK. 2 strikeouts and a sac bunt for Parsons. Chases the rise ball upstairs all day long. That's been the big feature pitch for Ty Sebastian. 12 strikeouts. Just off the outside corner. Parsons, Brett Larson, and Justin Potskin for STK will be the guys that they're going to look to try and rally. Toronto 2 runs on 6 hits. STK 1 on 5. And a changeup and a good one from Ty Sebastian. Haven't seen a lot of them, but he's floated a few in here and there and been very effective. Just misses on the outside corner. The Brussels Tiger, a reference to Ty's hometown team. The Brussels Bulldogs, says Peter Labardius. Chopper on the infield. Andy Skelton comes and gets it and makes the underhand toss to Ike Whetstone, 1 down. Brett Larson 0 for 3, a pair of strikeouts sandwiched around a fly ball. And just misses high for ball 1. And there chases the rise ball to even up the count at 1-1. Sebastian now 115 pitches. Patrick's closing in on 150. Sebastian taking a bit of a walk, but that pitch off the plate. Big deep breath for Sebastian out on the board. Nods in agreement with Hyde. Fouled straight back to the screen. The rise ball featuring really heavily in the pitch rotation now for Hyde and Sebastian. This grandstand, which was almost empty at the beginning of this game, continues to fill in. Swing and a miss. Down goes Brett Larson. That's the first strikeout since the 6th for Sebastian. A baker's dozen now on the day, 13. And Justin Potskin will be the last hope here for STK. Big swing and a miss at the rise ball. Can't lay off that pitch. Again, the swing and the miss. It's been the go-to pitch all game for Ty Sebastian. Does he have one more in him to advance the Batmen further into the ISC World Tournament? Swing and a miss. Ty Sebastian pitches Toronto further into the World Tournament. We got you some bonus coverage, including a bonus inning here for the Toronto Batmen, a 2-1 win. SDK, a valiant effort. They rallied in the 7th, but too much Ty Sebastian in the 8th. 14 strikeouts and a 2-1 win. We're going to step back and reset. Coming up, the AWP Lumberjacks and the Waterdown Hammer. Thanks for joining us on bonus coverage here on the ISC Network. Blair Setford signing off. Peter and Joe coming up. Well hit, deep right field. It's curving. This one, well hit to deep right field this time, and that one is gone. Trying to put it away is Jack Besgrove. The New York Gremlins are world champions.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Start spreading the news, Joe Todd. It's New York, New York.